What up? It's Watercooler. Thank you so much for tuning in. You know how the show goes. I, Chris Loxamana, kick it with my Corolla Digital buds, our Bud and Matt and Gary and Kalen. You know how it goes. With me today, let me introduce everybody, all the way in Northern Hollywood, California. Northern.
King in the North.
Would you be South North Hollywood? Are you the part of North Hollywood?
No, I'm North.
He's
North,
North. Yeah.
You're North. Oh, yeah, all the
I'm
way North Hollywood.
South of Van Allen.
We have Gary. I mean, Mike. I'm really tired, as you can see. We have Mike Dawson.
Mike Darson.
Mike Darson.
Mike Darson.
Mark Dyson.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
Welcome to El Podcasto.
Yes, and then all the way in Orange County, just finished kissing his dog, Gary Smith. And then all the way in Long Beach, California, it's Kalen Bean.
Going on?
Hey, Kalen. And then
hey, Chris.
all the way, I don't know, I do it too, so I'm only myself to blame. And then all the way in Austin, Texas, it's Matt Fondelier.
Hey, brother.
Hey, Matt. All right.
Is there a Long Beach in Long Beach?
I think
is there like
a pretty
exceptionally long beach?
I think it's a pretty lengthy beach. Yes.
Yeah,
I've always wondered that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we
not very creative. You know, someone was just like,
well, you know,
that's a pretty long beach.
They're not alone. There's one in New York too.
There is. I'd be more proud if it was
I wonder which Long Beach is longer.
Like Girthy Beach, you know?
Right, Girth Beach.
Girthy Beach.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I would move to Girth Beach.
See?
I feel like that's like Santa Monica. That's a pretty girthy beach right there.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. It takes you 6 minutes to walk to the fucking.
Oh, yeah. You're sweating by the time you get to the ocean.
Playa del Rey had a pretty girthy beach, too. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe
you get halfway there and then you're on a bike path and you still got to go into a football field.
They should name themselves Girth Beach. I think it would attract a lot of tourism, which is what we want. We obviously want to build an economy out here. It would create jobs.
It would create a lot of jobs.
Yeah. It just from a simple name change. It's that easy.
That's right.
So just look, we're trying to help out California here. I mean, look, one of us already left. So we're trying we're trying to do something here and salvage this situation. I'm really tired today, guys. I'll be honest.
What's up? Been not sleeping?
I've been not sleeping. So I had a kid.
Wait, was this before or after Italy? I feel like I'm learning all sorts of things.
After you heard about Italy, and he decided to wake up in the middle of the night a couple times. And here's the thing.
That'll happen.
I mean, I'm gonna bust out a little daddy radio here, which we did the live version in our at Gary's house, just hanging out the other day, which we'll get into. But so it's funny because I have a bassinet, or at least when we were using a bassinet initially when he was a newborn, that basically rocked itself. It had a mechanism that you just press a button and it would rock itself and sway in a very smooth motion. You could even pick what kind of sway you want.
Does it play a Drake song?
It could. It should. They should add that feature. Right now, it's just reduced to white noise, like nighttime noises, brown noise, which is just a bunch of farts.
It should be cleaning out my closet.
Yeah, crickets maybe. Yeah, so, exactly. So it's just they and every time people come over, like our parents or the generation older than us, they go, "We can't believe you guys have all this technology to raise your kids. It's not fair because we had to do it the hard." I'm sure Gary got it. I'm sure Kalen got it.
Sure.
It's just like,
absolutely.
You guys have all these newfangled toys and devices and things to help raise your kids that would make it a lot easier, time-saving things, whatever. But last night I had to use an old school device, which they really haven't improved on yet. And so my son had a runny nose. And he was very congested.
The sucker.
The only thing we have is
the belt. Jesus, Chris.
I whipped out the belt and I had to show him who's boss. We go old school here, Matt. No, the only thing that I've seen that is really effective is this long tube that you stick up the baby's nose, and on the other end you put your mouth on and you just suck the snot out. Granted, there's
oh my God.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
Dude,
yeah,
They
you're
haven't
getting the
improved
wrong
on the
sucker,
there's
dude.
a
They have
They have
line.
improved on the
They improved on the
technology. What is
sucker?
wrong with you?
Yeah.
What else do they have?
They have like a
But-
mechanism where you push a
Like a-
fucking button and it sucks.
Here's the
Yeah,
problem,
We have
guys.
one
No,
that's
no,
kind
no.
of like
refuse
almost
to
like a
suck your
turkey baster
earpods,
on the
but you
end.
Yes,
Where you
Dawson.
squeeze it and then
Snot.
let go, and it'll suck it out. You don't not need to put your mouth on the other end of it.
Well, I've been siphoning mucus from my.
Oh my god, dude, I'm gonna throw up.
Yeah, Dawson's on the right path here. This is a result of Chris not understanding, based on his AirPod days, that there does exist technologies to clean these things that don't involve you sucking.
I just don't find them as effective. I think the manuals suck. You can't. No AI, no technology can truly recreate the control.
Oh god,
Of
dude.
a suck. And same thing
That's
with
awful.
AirPods. Yeah, I'll still say it. Like if you want to clean your AirPods, suck them. Just suck them dry, baby.
This suck advice is awful.
What are you talking about?
All right, let's move on, man. I'm gonna throw up.
All right, go ahead, Dawson.
That really fucking
That
that upset me.
yeah?
I have a delicate stomach right now.
Right, I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Going around.
It's going around. Yeah.
Oh yeah, getting
Yeah.
wasted last night. It's going around.
Oh, that's the delicate stomach. Well,
Dude, we went to me and my friend Travis went to the fucking smokehouse. We got there at like 5:45 and we fucking closed the restaurant down.
Well,
We were the
you
last people in the main dining room. We had like fucking 9 Manhattans.
you picked the best Monday Night Football game to miss probably in the past decade.
Oh shit, I saw a little bit of it from the bar. I don't even know what happened.
The
You could get
Chargers
right.
didn't lose. But
yeah,
that,
that's great.
Okay.
that's
We
as
won.
generous as I will be. It was
Okay.
a terrible game.
Okay.
We won. We're now 500, Gary. That's pretty exciting.
No, and that's great. I'll take it.
Yeah. Well, Doss, you just came back from a Santa Barbara college show, which you were nervous about performing.
I was nervous.
Comedy in front of college kids. How did it go? What did you notice was any the difference between performing in front of our younger generation that is inevitably
Well, you'd think that people who buy tickets to a comedy show came there to laugh.
oh boy.
Uh-oh.
I got them. I mean, I did 16 minutes and they were eventually cracking up, but I think at the beginning they were trying to be quiet and not purposely not fucking laugh at my jokes. And I didn't give a fuck. I just kept going. But it was cool. It was fun. I actually was kind of surprised. I got this one opener that I'm a 5th generation Californian, so Mexican, and they fucking laughed, and I think they laughed in spite of themselves, like they didn't want to, but
Do any crowd work?
it was great. It was great. 16 minutes felt like 8.
That's good.
And I didn't bring any notes up there.
No
I
crowd
made
work?
myself a
No
set
point
list
anyone
and then
out?
burned it into my head. Say it again.
No crowd work?
I asked if there were any English majors. They said no. I did some new UCSB jokes. I said I'm a proud graduate of the University of California at Santa Barbara, also known as the participation trophy of the UC system. And I said, let's face it, guys, the only reason we're at UCSB is because we couldn't get into Berkeley. And then I told him about here was one I was worried about. I said, yeah, back when I lived in Isla Vista, we apparently committed hate crimes during basketball season. What was our hate crime? As soon as the Gauchos scored their first basket in the Thunderdome, we threw tortillas and we yelled "Ole." And you guys outlawed that now. You guys don't do that anymore because throwing tortillas is a hate crime. And they fucking laughed. They had no idea that this was actually a thing because it's been, I think they stopped like fucking 10 years ago.
Well, I know Matt's a big fan of that hate crime.
And I did.
Yeah, it was
isn't?
good. Speaking of that, it's right around this time of year that the Doodah Parade is happening in Pasadena, which once a blue moon ago, we talked about trying to do a live podcast from where they fucking chuck tortillas at you when you're going down the parade route. It's one of the things that I probably miss most about Southern California.
I think about foods that if they would hit me in the face, what would I prefer? And a flour tortilla is up there. I wouldn't mind it. I think it might even feel kind of nice if the temperature was right. Yeah, so
that's true. If it was a
have we
cold
done-
day,
Warm, when they
Have
were
we done best
warm
foods
flour
to get
tortillas.
hit in the face by, Matt, for Shay?
Yeah.
Have we done that one
the
yet?
closest is on our recent Dread commentary where I discussed briefly tossed foods, not the tossed salads as the low-hanging fruit was brought up, but food you throw in the air and try to catch in your mouth.
I feel like a well-tossed frisbee like flour tortilla. I mean, that carries some weight to it. That might not be very enjoyable to get hit with.
Oh, I was thinking.
Well,
you would
yeah,
go
we
flat.
we
Yeah,
did
no,
this at
I'm
home
thinking
games.
frisbee style. That would.
They had to stop the games. They had to stop the games. A technical foul was called on the Gauchos for fan interference. They had to sweep thousands of fucking tortillas off of the floor, and it stopped the game for like 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was the funnest thing in the world. But I told them, I said there are 3 things you should do. I did my little joke about how my Facebook page might get flagged for misinformation because it says I studied at UCSB.
Oh,
I did a lot of things at UCSB, but not that. I said the 3 things you're gonna have to do to really have the best UCSB experience ever. You have to do 3 things. You have to steal a bike, you have to burn a couch in the middle of the street, and you have to narrowly escape an encounter with the Isla Vista Foot Patrol. And
you could do that really.
And when I
often,
told
like-
them to run from the police, and then I reiterated that, they all fucking cheered. They love running from the police, apparently.
Oh, okay. So I guess some things never change. Well, I'm glad it went well, buddy.
It was fun. Thank
Yeah.
you.
You know,
Melissa
Caitlin-
Birch was there, and her son Zach. Remember at Borderline when we did a Corolla show there one time, and that kid was having his 21st birthday. That was Melissa's son Zach Fondelier. You remember this?
Yeah.
He got that kid fucked up. And he was there.
Yeah.
That was like 6-7 years ago. So it was nice to see Melissa and her family.
I remember that show. Our bands performed. Yeah, he turned 21, and then after the show, Dawson comes up and he goes, "Hey, that third song you played, that was a hit. That is a freaking hit. I loved it." And that was the one cover we did.
That's probably true.
So, and he was right, though. It was a hit, so it worked out. Yeah, I do remember that. I thought that was really fun. Kaylin, I was thinking a fun prank you could play on your brother who loves to go frisbee golfing is to just replace all his frisbees with tortillas and then watch the hilarity ensue when he gets to the golf course.
Yeah, that's a good one.
He'd have to use it. So I just saw Kaylin and Gary. We hung out the other day. That was a fun hang. Gary had a bunch of people over at his house, like a ton of people. And
Like a party.
Really, all the people.
It's like a rave,
really,
yeah.
everybody invited. I can't believe you flew out people. That was
You flew out people.
Well,
I wasn't gonna say
he didn't
shit
fly-
this entire
he didn't fly
time.
out anybody. He flew out like Rob and Tom.
Wow, cross country,
Yeah,
twice
all the East
as
Coast
far as I am.
Yeah.
I only flew
My
in business.
God.
I only flew in business.
Oh, daggers.
Yeah. So yeah, we had a good time.
So all you did was talk about your kids, though. It was just daddy radio,
not-
I bet.
It
So
was
whatever.
Daddy. It was
Yeah,
Daddy.
that's exactly
Yeah, you
what
already
it
said
was.
it was, so
Daddy
I'm not too
radio.
jelly.
No,
Yeah, it was.
I want to be with Dawson, fucking drinking 9 Manhattans at the fucking smokehouse. That's where I wanted to be.
Dude,
This
we did it right. We did it right last night. They sat us too. They sat us in the far corner booth, like we were super fucking. It's a hidden kind of corner booth.
This is my fault for bringing it back to Dawson's fucking smokehouse. I'm sorry.
I love the smokehouse, man. That place is fucking awesome.
It's like me and Mammoth. Once you get heated up, man, you
Oh,
can't
man,
stop.
I won't even
Yeah.
say that.
By the way, I hesitate. There is actually a lake in Mammoth called Long Lake, and I could have brought it up, but I chose not to, sir. All right?
Right.
Go back to Daddy Radio. What was your weekend like, guys?
Well, Gary had some people over, brought the kids. Everyone hung out. It was very sweet watching all the kids play with each other. Gary, you have like, I would say you have like probably 60 toys at your house, like a ton of toys.
60.
60.
What
I-
are you?
I really said it very low because I wanted to get Keelan's reaction.
Maybe multiply that by
There-
4 or 5.
There are a ton of toys at Gary's
There's
house.
like
Like,
there's at least 2 dedicated toy rooms.
it's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Then you're not counting the living room or any of the outside.
It
Caitlin
made me
said
wonder
4 or
how Katie's
5.
toy store went out of business because there's definitely a market still.
Caitlin
There's a
said
whole
4 or 5.
wardrobe department in one of those rooms as well. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, depending on how you count, I think that you might have been low by a factor of like 15 or 20. Like if you're counting all the individual like
Individual
little toys that he has, like yeah, he's got a few toys, man. He does. But you know, that's exactly why he has them, is because he loves to have other kids over to play with him. And like
And he did, yeah, it was awesome to watch. Like it was a blast.
there was never a dull moment. for
Never.
him, that's for sure.
Kaylin, what would you say? It had to have been under 60 seconds before Will and your daughters were in a completely separate room from you and I when you first got there.
Yeah, so if that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, because they got there, they like kind of said hi to each other, and then Will was like, "Want to come see my toys?" And then boom, they were off to the front of the house.
Yeah. And yeah, I was like, all right, they're fine up there. That's all right.
Yeah,
They're good. Yeah, so Daddy Radio hung out. I saw Gary's office. I love seeing office setups. I don't know why. It's satisfying to me. There are a couple things I love seeing because I love office supply stores. So now seeing people's desk setups is something I enjoy. I like seeing what people keep in their backpacks.
Well, Chris, I don't want to put you on the spot, but rate my office setup.
I mean, that's not really my job. Kaylin should be the one doing it.
Kaylin's job, yeah.
Kaylin,
Yeah,
did you come in
I
my
mean,
office?
yeah, I saw your office for sure. Yeah, and I mean, shy of like a professional studio inside of like a professional desk inside of a studio. That's getting up there. I mean, it's clean. It's no wires,
window.
plenty of screens, equipment's put
Exciting.
away. It's
Got a sliding glass door, Dawson.
Yeah.
yeah. I would.
No, you to outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
So the backyard.
You got a
Private-
balcony,
private
dude.
No, my house is all one story, but it's weird. Pretty much every bedroom has a sliding glass door. I'm convinced that when the people who flipped my house before I bought it were doing stuff, they had like 6 sliding glass doors left over, and they were like sliding glass doors
Fuck it.
everywhere.
Yeah, let's not pay,
Now-
but save money on doors, guys.
See the
And,
best.
what was
features-
that address again?
Yeah.
The best features of Gary's office are actually off camera from what we're seeing right now.
I
He's
just
got a large TV just right off to the side where he
Very large.
probably has a sports game going on.
Could be larger.
Right? It could be larger. It's quite large. Also, I knew Gary was into shoes or sneakers. I didn't realize how much he was into sneakers. Gary, they're all on display. They all have these clear cases where you can cleanly see what each shoe is, and they have their own individual case.
And is that all of them, or do you have a second stash somewhere else too? Because I feel like you probably do.
Is this a shoeseum that we're talking about?
It's the shoeseum. I felt like I was on MTV Cribs, and I walked into the walk-in closet for the shoeseum.
First of all, Kaylin, what's with all the questions? Second of all, Chris, the shot is designed very intentionally. I don't know that we need to be revealing the massive problem that I have buying shoes.
Why do you think that's
How
a
much
problem?
has it grown since the Hollywood days? Because you had a lot of shoes on display back then.
Oh, it's a completely different collection. COVID, I went a little nuts during COVID.
Okay, I want to talk about this because obviously it's a culture. Sneaker. Would you consider yourself a sneakerhead? Could I call you a sneakerhead?
I think you'd have to, given what you've seen.
Yeah, I think I would.
Yeah,
have
they're in display cases.
But like, I'm not. I would also like hesitate to use that term because it's like I like sneakers and I like what I like, but I'm not so deep into like. There's just I like very specific things and I just collect different variations of them. Whereas I feel like a true sneakerhead probably goes across all different brands and stuff. Whereas I just pretty much have like 2 or 3 styles that I like, and I just get a lot of different.
This is typical attic talk.
Well, let's-
Jesus
let's
Christ,
talk
man.
about this because
Read a book.
Look, and Dawson, remember what were those shoes that Dawson wanted as a schoolboy that he never got?
Saddle shoes.
Saddle shoes. Yeah. See,
Yeah.
Dawson
Yeah, that's
was
what the rich kids
the OG
wore.
sneakerhead. He wanted his saddle shoes, so he could really appreciate this. So Gary, a couple questions about this culture because I'm not that familiar with it. I obviously understand that these are collectibles. Does the shoe have to be your size for you to buy it?
Yeah.
You have to be able to wear it. Like you wouldn't get if somebody's like, I got a pair of Jordan 1s, their size, I don't know, 16. You would.
I don't think Gary's
Gary's
collecting
gonna
just
pull
to
out a
collect
Jordan-
them.
Gary's gonna pull out
He
Jordan 1.
wears them.
Here's the one exception.
Uh-oh.
It's been blurred out. I don't know if that's intentional or not.
It's
Oh
been
no.
blurred out.
Yeah, you're blurry.
You're blurry.
Oh, because I stood up.
Uh-oh. Oh no, Pfizer is at it again.
Yeah, he was about to bring up that Nike shit, and then
Well, here
locked.
you don't really need to see it, but the exception is something
can-
that is my
yeah.
son's size, and then I keep them when he outgrows them, and I sort of keep them on display because I
Yeah.
just they're cute.
Oh, I see. Much like Chris being a
That's not
shorter
weird or
variety, I
anything.
thought Gary was holding up a normal size shoe just now.
Really?
God damn it!
Looks
I
so
don't-
tiny in your hands.
No, Gary. I mean, they're Nikes. Is that the one brand you stick to?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't hesitate to buy something else cool. There was a time where I was really into Lacoste shoes for some
Yeah.
reason. They're sneakers, but yeah, these days it's almost universally Nike.
Yeah. And Dunks or what are the?
In an ideal world, my favorite shoes are SB Dunks. I really like those, but they're very hard to come by. And
Isn't SB a new company though? Why are those shoes so revered? If Nike SB just like started.
What does SB stand for?
skateboarding. It's
Santa
not a new
Barbara.
company. I've been wearing them since at least college, so it's been around for 20 years. But
It's been 20 years. Jeez.
yeah. But
remember
I
the
also
first skaters that were signed in Nike was like Bam.
Yep.
And maybe P Rod.
I think P Rod was one of the first ones because I had some Nike P Rods for sure.
Somebody calls themselves P Rod.
Yeah, Paul Rodriguez.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Remember he,
Oh,
came
that's
on the
good.
show,
That's fucking-
remember he came on the
I
show,
just
gave
got-
us
I
a bunch
just
of
got
beer,
that
and then we
though,
all got in
Ryan.
trouble for
Yeah,
it.
no, super nice guy. Super nice guy. I take all that back.
Yeah.
I
His
think
dad
Matt,
is an
Matt-
actor.
Matt spelled it differently.
Good
in
name
Comment.
for it though.
But yeah, I prefer Nike SB Dunks, but I also just will wear. I really like regular Dunks, and I've got a decent collection of Jordan 1 lows because I just like the simplicity of the design.
Right. Now, Dawson, you've been around for a minute. And you've seen the different footwear that's been going on. I guess Matt too. I mean,
I've been around.
now you see these guys wearing these nice sneakers that are worth a lot of money with like suits, and they're okay to wear at formal events and cocktail parties and things like that. Is this it? Or do we approve of this fashion choice?
I do.
I know Gary has. I've seen him do it, and it looks fine.
There's-
But
What's the choice to wear more casual shoes
Oh,
to
God. Why-
events?
I'm
Is
totally
that what we're
asking the
going
wrong
for?
guy. I just realized.
I just want to make sure I'm tracking this,
Not
so I
that
really give
casual.
it a well thought out opinion on the matter.
Matt's like, these
About-
are closed-toed shoes. These are
Yeah,
go
yeah.
well with any
Well,
These are
what's the problem?
closed-toed flip-flops.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot.
Honestly, I feel to paraphrase the Shawshank Redemption. I've never really looked at a man's shoes. I don't pay much attention to it. Just
I
really
do.
don't.
I like looking at shoes.
So do I, and that's part of like why I go out of my way to keep them nice, because if you have nice sneakers these days that are like, apparent that they're like kind of taken care of, you can sort of get away with that at almost anywhere. Like I wear sneakers to, places where previously you would not have been able to, but these days it's just sort of changed a little bit.
Have
can
you
get
ever
away-
waited in line for a drop like overnight or anything like that?
No.
That's what they call them, Kalen, when the new sneakers get released. It's a drop. They drop them.
Yeah, and don't like a couple people buy up all of them and then just sell them online for like a ton of profit. Isn't that
Yeah.
kind of how that culture works?
Well, they're trying to
Yes.
get ahead of it. Like, so there's this, they just released these new golf shoes, Nike did. And in order to buy them, you have 2 chances to drive a ball over 250 yards. And then they'll let you purchase them. Like to show
I
that
like that.
you're
I
the
like
real
that.
deal. I like
Prove
it too.
prove yourself.
And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm down to do that. I mean, I wonder if it doesn't have to go straight, I'm definitely down to do it. If that's go straight, then I don't know. I don't know if I would even.
But you're gonna tin cup it and just hit it down the street.
Yeah, I would just home run ball and just see where the thing goes. I'm sure if you add the distance, you get to somewhere around 250. But yeah,
Yeah,
you
no,
have
I've never lined up. I've never lined up for a drop. I almost exclusively buy shoes online. It's very hard for me to come across shoes because here's the other thing is that I made a rule with myself that I only buy shoes for retail. I do not, because there's all these websites where the day a shoe drops, you can get it for whatever the market value is at the time, but it's never retail. It's always a lot higher. And I've definitely done that before, but I finally had to make a rule with myself. Like, my collection's big enough. I will only buy shoes if I find them at retail. And of course, yeah, as you said earlier, only in my size.
Yeah, those are good standards because you want to be able to wear them. Like, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't buy a guitar if I never was going to play it.
Right.
You know? So,
And I do wear mine. Like, I don't think that there is a pair in my collection that hasn't been worn. Like, there are some that have been worn sparingly because I bought them knowing that they were like going to be specific. Like, I have a pair of patent black leather Jordans that I wear to weddings.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Did you wear 'em at my wedding?
Yeah.
He wore him at his own wedding.
I did not wear them at my own wedding.
Yeah,
I was this close to having custom sneakers made for my own wedding. I was this
That's
close.
cool. No, I like that. And then you can get them, in embroidered or not embroidered. What's it called when you get the initials on?
Embroidered.
Oh, it is embroidered. Okay, I thought I had the word wrong. Speaking of Gary talks, so Jen was watching a movie the other day, and I walked in, and she's about 30, 35 minutes into it.
Oh my God, I just remembered. Okay, sorry.
And I watch, and I sit down, and she's 35 minutes in this movie, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, it's a movie Downsizing with Matt Damon. I think it just hit Netflix. And I remember seeing that movie in theaters and thinking, man, this movie sucks.
I hope that's what
I'm totally fine with never watching it. It wasn't good. It just wasn't good. I love Matt Damon. I thought the premise was awesome, just not executed great. And and it just kind of was all over the place. And this will go to Matt too, because he's the host of the former podcast. There will be spoilers. So is it a spoiler if I tell her, hey, this movie you are watching that you've already invested 35 minutes into is awful, or do I just let her watch it and find out for herself?
First point of order, ask her if she's enjoying it first.
Okay.
Isn't the thing about that movie though is in the second half specifically it really falls off? Like I heard the first half is good and the second half is fucking horrible.
It's like what's going on here?
You didn't let me finish. You ask her, are you enjoying it so far? And then when she says yes, then you say, well, I hate to break it to you, but this movie fucking sucks. Turn it off right now. Stop wasting your time.
Okay.
Yes, it's a public service.
Yeah, I agree.
Service. I did not do that because I was like, look, I don't want to ruin this for her. Like if you know,
so you're like, let me fucking pop up some more popcorn for you.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And I just sat next to her and just went on my phone and just well,
I don't see anything wrong with asking her like, oh, you enjoying this movie? Well, I've seen it before. Do you want me to like?
Well, here's the
tell
thing,
you how it is by the end of it.
Because you're right. The first act is fine.
Yeah, but then you follow up with, I've seen this movie. Do you want me to let you know how this movie is?
Regardless, unfreaking flickable.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah. Oh, it's unflickable. Don't.
Real fast before we move on from Daddy Radio, can I just highlight two things that made me laugh really hard that day? One was me and Kaylin were sitting in the backyard and Chris walked up and all three of us were making small talk and Chris was talking about business and he said something that inadvertently he didn't realize like sort of applied to me and I pointed it out and Chris got so uncomfortable and that has made me laugh 5 times since that happened. I keep thinking back to that and laughing. And the other one was right as we were about to leave, I don't even remember what prompted it, but Jenny just basically took a shot at Chris. Sitting on the couch, she's like looking around like, what the hell? I'm sitting right here. It was
no reason at all. It was a height. It was a height comment, which I'm like, all right, well, we needed that right now. That wasn't necessary. We were just hanging out. You guys are bad and what's on her. But thanks for having us over, Gary. It actually was quite fun. Gary provided like the Portos. We made Rice Krispie treats.
Yes, you did. Everyone brought something. I don't believe anyone was asked to bring anything, but everyone did, and everyone's contribution made it awesome.
Yeah. Pat was there. He brought a tri-tip for 20 people. It was wonderful.
He did. We had planned to order pizzas for the second act of that party, but everyone brought so much food. There was just no call for it. So yeah,
and for those listening, Pat is Kaylin's pond boss.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a great time, man. Thanks again for having us. I mean, it was just really nice seeing you all in person. I don't get to see that all the time. I mean, you all, but you three. I mean, you two.
Yeah.
Y'all.
Us three. I see Dawson every day. I get it.
It's enough.
We get it. It's I don't think it's enough. I wouldn't mind if it was a little bit more, to be honest, buddy.
Okay.
I gotta say, Kalen was rocking it solo. His lady was not feeling well, so he was one parent with 2 children. I thought he was really killing the game. It was.
I was surprised.
Well, it does help when there's 830 toys around for them to dive into, and 2 other kids to play with. I don't really have to do anything at that point, but just make sure that when they fall over, they're not hurt too bad.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, for
fall
sure.
over. You all right? Good. All right, moving on. Keep going.
Well, it's all the toys, and then also the bounce house came out, which was very helpful for tiring out the kids.
Does that count as one toy? Because I feel like that needs a multiplier there.
Yeah. So the kids outnumbered the adults, right? Is that, or maybe it might have been split pretty evenly.
Might have been even.
But what I loved is Gary has a 75-inch TV in the main room where all the kids are playing in the toy room. And what movie was on? Straight Outta Compton.
That's right. And that was directly as a result. That was directly as a result of us watching 8 Mile.
Such a good movie.
It's a great movie.
It's been on a lot lately. I've actually tuned into it like 12 times in the past week.
We had Exhibit on the Corolla show today, and I brought it up.
Yeah.
I'll do an 8 Mile, dude. Sure, I'm sure he gets asked that all the time in interviews.
What did he say? What did he say about that?
You didn't bring up your trip to have your bus renovated by
I don't
Pin My
want to
Ride?
make it too
No,
much about me. No, but
Okay.
I was thinking about it. Even Mikey texted me, did you bring up the bus thing? I was like, I didn't. I did not. I just.
How did he react to your 8 Mile compliment?
It was good. It was good because he has a battle rapping background. So he was talking about how that's how he hooked up with Eminem back in the day, was through the battle rap scene, which I guess is a real thing. And I don't know, it's just cool to be able to talk 8 Mile with X right after watching it. So speaking of movie nights, well, let's get into comments because I have a couple movie night comments too. You guys ready to go?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey,
All right, before we get to the Facebook comments, we released a movie club episode on our Patreon. And if you want to sign up for Patreon, go to patreon.com/watercooler. We have a ton of extra content there. We have hundreds of extra podcasts that we do that we do each week. You could get the whole archive there. We have Movie Club where we watch a movie and then we talk about it for an hour. And the last movie we did was 8 Mile. Great Halloween movie. And we
I'll never forgive you. Never.
But that's the most recent one. And I just have a couple of comments here because people listen to that one. Joe Cool. He said, I nominate this movie club episode for the prestigious best episode of Watercooler of the Year award.
Wow.
So, for those listening right now, that's what you're missing out on. It could be the best episode of the year.
And just to clarify for people who've been listening a long time, back in the day, our movie club program was that you would put the movie on and we would comment in real time. We're no longer doing it that way. Now you watch the movie and then you can come hear us actually talk about the movie as opposed to talk over the movie.
Yeah, and Kalen flicks the movie. Matt does his food segments about the movie. Like he talked a lot about.
It's been a challenge. It's been a challenge.
I have been having fun. Wonderful. David Hunley, he also put a comment to our 8 Mile movie club. He says, and this was in response to Matt in the beginning of the episode, was upset that we were doing 8 Mile during our Halloween season.
Yeah,
because this actually released on Halloween. And Matt thought that we should do a horror movie. And I said, look, more people are going to be listening to this after Halloween than not, and they'll be over the horror stuff. Mm-hmm. David Hunley says, to Chris's point about people moving on past Halloween, I'm sitting on my Christmas tree as I'm listening to this episode. Great choice for a flick, and now I think I'm going to rewatch Straight Outta Compton.
Same.
There we go. Mic drop after that.
I would just like to point out that Matt is that hardcore when it comes to October and Halloween movies. Matt and I often
for mental illness.
Matt and I often give each other recommendations on cool movies that we watch, and without failure, every year I happen to watch a fucking awesome movie in October, and I go, Matt, you gotta watch this movie. And he goes, yeah, I'll get right on it after October. So he is
How long has this
he's not kidding when he
on, Matt?
Well, our good friend Randy, who
I know.
we've mentioned by name, he used to do a thing called Croctoberfest.
I remember.
No explanation as to why he called it that. But that started when I was kind of living with him because he would. Yeah, Chris, you remember because you were
I do.
traumatized
I've-
walking in.
I've been there for one of the movie screenings. I'll never
Yeah.
forget it.
What was
Also,
it?
It's fairly new. It's not even as old as Nike SB. It's a newer tradition.
But I have to say, the more that I've thought about it, it goes back to like elementary school days when they would have Halloween specials of all the different shows, like the SNCC and the TGIF, all that stuff. Like, I would just try to consume as much of that content as humanly possible.
Is
You know.
Goosebumps, the new Goosebumps, good? It looks like it'll be good just based
Yeah, I've
off.
heard it's not
It's
great.
I mean, it's meant for. Is it meant for not
Yeah,
kids, but maybe
younger.
Well,
younger
Goosebumps
adults?
is definitely meant for
tweens.
tweens.
Yeah,
Who wrote Goosebumps, Kalen?
I don't know.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. Clearly
Yo,
he did.
Hughley.
That was
I
the
don't
joke.
know.
Goosebumps was the shit. I used to read. I could read a whole Goosebump book in one day. Like if when a new one came out, I would
Did
just
you guys ever have
like,
Encyclopedia
Goosebumps was just a little
Brown?
after my time.
Encyclopedia
Definitely
Brown?
does.
Encyclopedia Brown?
1000%.
Yeah, you read those, Matt?
Kid Detective.
Yeah.
I
fucking
remember
loved it, dude.
specifically
Yeah.
a book where it had something to do with a lobster that everyone was claiming was like hypnotized, and Encyclopedia Brown was the one who realized that it was a bright red lobster, which meant that it had been cooked before it was put in front of people.
Ah,
Like,
that was-
damn,
that was-
there you
Encyclopedia
go.
Brown, and I learned
That's
something.
yeah.
What
Dude,
is happening right
Encyclopedia
now?
Brown.
Yeah.
Encyclopedia Brown proved that this bully's dog attacked a kid because he said the bully said, well, the kid was waving a red towel, and so the dog was acting like a bull. And Encyclopedia Brown said dogs see in black and white.
You guys were learning while Encyclopedia Brown sounds awesome,
It sounds like the original MythBusters, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
but they put
know,
a lot to it.
it's making me think of
Those
someone
books are
else.
fucking awesome, dude.
Another fictional character taught me a lot about geography and the greater solar system.
Where
Carmen
in the
Sandiego.
world is Carmen
Carmen
Sandiego?
That's right.
Yep. Hell yeah. That,
Fucking where's Waldo? All I learned was where in the picture you are. That fucking doesn't teach me shit. Carmen Sandiego.
dude.
I had to know Bolivia, Belize,
Carmen
Beirut,
must
other countries
hate-
that start with B.
Carmen Sandiego must hate Waldo.
Beirut is a
Waldo
city
got-
in Lebanon.
Waldo
Well,
got
clearly
so
I have
much-
to revisit.
Waldo got so much credit, and everybody loved looking
Yeah.
for Waldo. And Carmen's the one who's trying to teach people things.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's a shame. It's a shame.
We have an aversion to learning.
I agree, man. Like
Big
Carmen
problem.
Sandiego definitely has a bone to pick. This grudge is totally warranted, and I
Yeah.
feel for her. Yeah, the series of books I read around that age was I was really into Goosebumps. I was really into I think the Boxcar Children was that was
Fuck yeah.
one, right?
Fuck
I remember
yeah.
them sleeping on like pine needles, and then in the boxcars. Yeah, it's basically Kaylin. That book was about just kids who became homeless, and we followed them around on a
So
train.
this would have been from before I was able to read, but from my very, very early childhood. Do you guys ever read the Hardy Boys?
The Hardy
Oh,
Boys
yeah.
was like the big mystery thriller. I mean, I never read them though. They just seemed maybe it seemed a little too old.
My
There
dad
was,
my dad used to read them to me. And then for the ladies, the cousin was Nancy Drew.
Yep.
What
Good
about
call.
Babysitters Club? That was a big one with all
Sure.
the ladies. I remember
Read
that.
as well. I
But
mean,
I was-
yeah. I knew girls that read
Yeah,
those.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, man, I'm sure. I think it would be smart for a young boy to read Babysitters Club because you learn about what the girls are reading, and then you have something to
Yeah.
talk about if you're if that's what you're into at that age. And then you guys ever get into Animorphs?
No.
God damn, yeah.
Freaking
That was really the
love-
bridge to Power Rangers and beyond, really.
dude. Dawson, Animorphs are these kids that got these powers to each turn
They
into.
turn into animals.
Yes.
Oh, you've heard of it.
that's exactly
No.
right.
You've read
I've
them.
never
all
heard
of
of
them.
it,
You do
but
know.
the name is a dead giveaway.
Oh
It's
my God.
obviously that's what
They
happened.
morph into animal, and each cover was just like the
Yeah.
kid morphing into the animal, and it
Yeah.
was
It was
awesome. And
incredible.
yeah, it was such a good
Free
series.
CGI,
I just watched
Dawson.
Thundercats.
Yeah, I love
Thundercats
it
is the
too.
best in the
Cartoon.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Pretty much.
Animorphs, there's a hawk named Tobias. Because I remember, yeah,
Tobias.
yeah. Well, it was a guy
Okay.
named Tobias who turned into a hawk. But I think he used his power wrong or something happened to him where he was permanently a hawk. So all
Did
the
you
other
ever-
kids were kids that turned into animals, but Tobias was like stuck as a hawk. Which
Did the
is
hawk
so-
wear
I would
cut off
stop
jean shorts?
turning into. What's that, Gary?
Did the hawk wear cut off jean shorts?
Why? Oh, Tobias.
Help me
Like,
out.
he was a never nude. That's yeah. I think that Tobias was also a never.
There we go.
Thank you. Matt, come on. I really thought you'd have me there.
Yeah. No, sorry. I was.
We're in Animorphs mode, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the series that I could have put down, and then I stopped reading and I just read Wikipedia's after that. To the point where I watched Arrival the other day for the first time, loved it.
You had never seen that before?
Oh, that's
Never
a good
saw
movie.
it.
Wow, that's a great movie.
So freaking good.
Yeah.
And I did some research, of course, and you know it was Dennis Villeneuve. Is that how you pronounce it, Kalen?
Is it Villanueva?
Villanueva. Oh yeah,
Villanueva.
Sorry, Matt literally threw up. in
First
his
of all, his
mouth.
first name is Denis, not Dennis. And honestly, I have a hard time pronouncing his last name. It is tough, but
Okay.
I'm sorry, I got to get going, guys. I got to get to fucking class. I'm not
Yeah,
looking
buddy.
forward to it.
Dude,
break a leg.
Yeah.
But before I go, November 29th, the Wednesday after Thanksgiving, I'm doing a show at the Vulcan Gas Company in Austin, Texas, Matt.
Yeehaw!
And tickets are on sale for that now.
Can I get on
follow
the
me at
list?
Los Angeles to find the link. And I'm at the Comedy Chateau Friday night in North Hollywood. So
Dawson,
if I'm
what are the
thinking
chances
about
that I
other
go to the
stuff.
Comedy Chateau and you're not there? Because it seems like yeah, you've been going up a lot.
I did 3 shows last weekend.
Just go to the Comedy
Um,
Chateau. Dawson will probably be there.
Matt, that sounded like a soft no, by the way.
I know.
But anyway, okay, sorry. We'll see you, Dawson. So anyway, speaking of Animorphs, so the owl in the cover of the Rush album, Fly By Night. is
Yeah, thanks,
really-
dude. You're such a dick. All right, I'll see you guys.
Bye.
You Doss.
All right. All right. Well, why don't we do some more comments here? Oh yeah, sorry. I was watching Arrival, and then he directed Dune. Denise. Just sounds like I'm
Denis.
calling him Denise. I don't know. Denis.
Denis.
And then yeah, and I was like,
How
yeah.
many people have you seen Dune? So many people
it.
didn't like that movie, and I fucking love that movie.
I watched it again just after watching Arrival.
I'm waiting till the second one, right
I love
before
it
the
so
second
much,
one
and
comes
then-
out. I'm gonna, yeah.
And then I was like, I've never read the book Dune, but there's a Wikipedia out there. I'm just gonna wiki the book. Very accurate to the book. And now I feel like I know what's gonna happen in part 2 because if they're gonna say that accurate, I mean, it's spoiled at all. Either way, it's very good, and I love to
You
write.
donate to Wikipedia? I feel like you should, of all people.
Wikipedia should be paying me for the free advertisement. Although they look like they are hurting for money. So, but they're asking for donations way too much. Like all right, maybe I should. Don't kill me, Gary. Even Elon Musk won't donate to him. All right, let's do some Facebook comments now. So these Facebook comments, all you have to do is go to our Facebook group, facebook.com/group/BoboBoyArmy Worldwide LLC. Answer a few questions. We might let you in. My favorite place on the internet. This first comment is from Joya Smith, who hosted Daddy Radio the other day. She says, I believe Gary mentioned this story at the meetup, but in short, anytime Gary makes a terrible dad joke, he now must put $1 into the bad joke fund jar. Gary mentions jar. I wanted to call it the dickhead jar, but then our 4-year-old started yelling dickhead. So it is currently the bad joke fund, accepting all jar names for consideration. But please keep in mind that my child will repeat it incessantly. So yeah, and she posted a picture of the bad joke fund.
I saw some heroes in the comments suggesting that they should crowdfund so that I have money to pay for this with my craft. And I would just like to say, unnecessary, but God, did that warm my heart. Thank you. So much. I will happily pay for the right to make my jokes.
I think you should. I love a good dad joke, so always have. Kevin Garrett says, I feel like I say the word era more often than most people because I have a master's in geology. I know one of the guys who works on the geologic timescale. I can say with absolute confidence that everyone in the science pronounces it era. The dictionary agrees. That was a weird one to get aggro over. And Kevin, I agree. Dawson just being so, wow, I wish he was still here. Damn it.
Yeah, Chris. It's called producing.
Oh,
Come on.
You're giving me
We had Dawson here.
but I know. Damn it. Oh, well, I'll just reread that one next time he's here because he needs to know this. He's not going to get away with it.
You know he's not going to listen to the rest of this episode.
No, we'll just redo it. I
He wasn't listening to the part he was here for.
Yeah, I agree. So anyway, era. I can now go back to saying era with confidence. Thank you.
I can say that producer Laura Lee has seen the Eras movie multiple times now.
Oh,
Into it, huh?
I didn't know she was a Swiftie.
I think, yeah, it was actually pretty all right. Well, okay.
Just because Matt's leaving doesn't mean it's not his Facebook isn't going to hear this.
It was a pretty uncomfortable situation because she was talking about the fact that she was going to see it again. I knew she had already seen it with some family members who we had in town. And I just casually said, yeah, if somebody had asked me to go see that movie, I probably would have gone, but they didn't. So whatever. And she was like, I'll go with you. And I was like, I'm good. And I didn't realize what I was doing as it was happening. But like my message was more like, you do not need to go see this movie for a third time simply to accompany me. But ultimately, I think she was just looking for an excuse to spend 2.5 hours with me. And I felt
yeah, you should do it then. I would do it. I'm kind of intrigued by this now, just to see what it's like to be in a movie theater where everyone's going nuts. And
See, I kind of would like to see the movie too, but that's the exact reason why I wouldn't go see it, is because everyone in the theater is just going to go nuts. It's not going to be enjoyable at all.
The energy is going to be there, though. I think it's worth it.
Yeah, but see, the thing is that like I know Brian took his whole family, so like, do I want the energy of like 7-year-olds freaking out? Because that could easily be my experience.
But they're happy 7-year-olds though. Everyone's in a good mood. Like I don't see what.
No, they're not. We've all seen it happen. They turn on a dime.
Ruh-roh. Okay, but I don't know. I would love to watch the movie though.
I'm going to watch the movie. I just don't know that I need the
me up.
theater experience.
Yeah. Laura Lee, DM me. We'll go. All right, Spencer.
I don't know. My mom does not need to be DMing anyone.
Dude, the door's already been opened. It's already there.
This happened. Remember when that happened? Like 5 years ago, and you were like, "Hey, your mom just DM'd me."
Yeah,
that's a sentence you never want to hear.
Yeah. Spencer Smith says, "Hey, what you guys are talking about, that is not a trunk or treat. For those of us in unpopulated areas, trunk or treat is held at the schools or church, and people drive in from the country to all get together so the kids can walk around and trick or treat instead of driving between locations. I guess it's like, yeah, if you have an acre of land or something, I don't know."
No, that makes
made a lot more sense. Yeah.
If it's a 5-minute walk between every house, then it would make sense for everyone to congregate in one, communal space in the town, and then the kids can kind of all go around and do trick or treating the way you would in a neighborhood, the way we are used to in LA or in SoCal.
Yeah. Ryan Huff says those scarf those scarf gymnastics you were talking about last time are called aerial silks. So thank you, Ryan, for that.
Thank you.
And then let's see one more. Jeff,
I believe it's pronounced aerial.
Jeff Nillas, excuse me. He says, "I'm finally getting a chance to go back to the beginning of Watercooler and listen to the archive. He says there are a few episodes missing. He's wondering why. I don't know. And he says, just curious. It's been fun going back, though. Thanks, boys. Keep up the great work. Always excited when he sees a new episode drop." So,
well, here's what I'll tell you. I'm just going to tease it. Enjoy listening to it, and we are going to soon have a reason to encourage more people to join you. So stay tuned for that coming very soon.
Yes. I love this. So Gary pitched this segment during the Patreon, and we're
during the Mallow Money meetup. Yeah, I pitched it to all the people.
We're doing some comments over some older clips to see how much we've changed. Because, yeah, they're going to feel like, I think some of these clips are going to feel like it's a whole different group of people talking. We're in different parts of our lives.
It is a whole different group of people. I mean,
yeah, we literally have different people on the show.
Oh, literally. Oh, yeah. I remember. I miss Ian Bag. Me
too. God damn.
But yeah, they are different people. I mean, just us too. We're going to sound obviously like.
Oh, we're very different. I mean, think about the fact that there was a time where all of us were single.
Yeah, and unhappy because of it.
Yeah, exactly. We're much better off now. Chris, see,
So
see,
much
how,
better
see how
off.
far you've come? See how far
Look at
you've
that.
come
I've
under my
learned.
tutelage?
I've learned so much. All right. Anyway, those are our comments, everybody. Let's get into some seggies now, and let's kick it off with some flicking the bean.
We all want to know one thing.
One thing.
Your opinion's what we need.
We need.
So Kaylin, get on that mic.
That mic and flick the bean.
Oh, Kaylin, flick the bean.
Respect all women.
Well, October is over. We are now into November.
It's
And-
October.
What?
It's
It's
October.
October.
Put $1 in.
That was a little too smooth.
I need a money
Even,
noise
yeah.
every time Gary adds.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get one.
But for some reason, all of the streaming services waited until November to release a bunch of their horror movies. So all of the new movies, like the new
Matt's pumped.
Insidious movie came out on Netflix in November. I forget, there's one on Hulu that just came out. The one on Max, which is the one I'm going to be reviewing today, is The Nun 2. It is another horror movie, even though we're in November. Blame the streaming services,
Dude,
not
The
me. It's
Nun-
not my fault.
November?
The Nun may be one of the most menacing posters that I've seen. Like it's terrifying. As a kid who went to Catholic school, I mean,
They've had some pretty good, like, kind of social media advertising campaigns
Right.
from the first one, and then this one is
Oh.
pretty good.
now I assume that you and Fondelier have seen the Nun one,
That one.
Nun one, right?
None.
Sorta.
9.
I'll get into it.
Nine.
I'll get
Oh,
into
you'll
it.
get-
Don't worry.
Okay, I wanted the premise. Before
Have you released the? Have you read the wiki?
I haven't read either wiki. I will, but So what do you even know what the premise is for part 1?
Kinda. I mean, again, I'll get into that, but you don't really even need a premise for these movies, which is kind of the point.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get into that. This one is directed by Michael Chavez, who also directed The Curse of La Llorona and The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, both of which were not great. One of the writers, Ian Goldberg, also co-wrote The Autopsy of Jane Doe, which is a great horror movie. Another one of the writers, Akela Cooper, wrote Malignant, which I fucking hated, and Megan, which was very fun.
Is Malignant the Disney movie with Angelina Jolie?
Yeah, that's the one. Put it on for your
you-
kids.
Yeah, watch that one over Malignant. This is the 8th installment in the Conjuring universe franchise. It stars Tessa Farmiga. She's the sister of Vera Farmiga, who is like the star in all the Conjuring movies.
Very
awesome. Yeah, so she plays the younger version of Vera, because the Nun movies take place when Vera's character is younger. And I was thinking to myself, like, holy shit, what good casting that they found. Someone that looks exactly like Vera. That's amazing. I didn't know it was her sister until I was writing up my notes for the movie.
She's been in a lot of stuff too.
Yeah, she's been in a lot of American Horror Stories. She's got a lot of credits. It also stars Storm Reed, who plays Zendaya's younger sister in Euphoria, and Jonas Blockett. I don't know.
I appreciate the effort.
I was looking at you, Matt.
Oh, I know.
I didn't recognize any of his credits. The movie's an hour and 50 minutes long. It cost $38 million to make, and it made $268 million at the movie theater. So
what you would call a success.
Of success, absolutely. 52% critics on Rotten Tomatoes, 73% audience. Now is when I was getting into the first Nun movie. Has a 24% with the critics and a 35% with the audience. It's a horrible movie. Did I watch it? I tried to. I think twice, and I turned it off both times. It's really bad.
All right, I won't watch
And
it.
what is it about? It's about the creepy nun from the Conjuring universe. Like, you don't really need more than that. A priest gets
How much of it
murdered.
I've seen?
What's that?
You know how much of it I've seen? None.
Some of it? Oh. Yeah, so a priest gets murdered, evil spreading across Europe. There's a demon. The Vatican sends out Tessa to solve it since she was able to the first time. You get it. And I was kind of hopeful. Sometimes the sequel is actually redeemable. Like, it's good. It's better than the original. The best example for a horror movie I was thinking of is Ouija. The original movie, 5% with the critics, 24% with the audience. It was fucking horrible. Ouija 2 is a very solid horror movie. It's technically called Ouija, The Origin of Evil. That one I would recommend. So I knew I'd like it better than the first one, but that 73% audience convinced me to watch it. And I just couldn't shake the feeling during this movie that it just felt so much like a big high budget franchise horror movie. And it just felt kind of bland to me. Honestly, yeah. I've seen so many good, like independent, original, scary, and disturbing horror movies over the last year or two that this one, it just wasn't hitting the spot like those ones do. Is it scary? There's a lot of jump scares or attempts at jump scares. They kind of follow that
brutal.
unoriginal franchise formula though, so you know it's coming. So it's like, okay. Is it creepy? There's a few moments in there and they don't last very long. Is it violent? I guess not terribly though. And finally, is it disturbing? No, not really. Not
This
to
is
me.
right up my alley. Maybe I will watch The Nun too.
No, you still couldn't watch it. Maybe more, it's more disturbing to like religious people or people that grew up with religion. I know sometimes the genre just doesn't hit me like it does some other people for that reason. It's not bad. It's not a bad movie, not bad by any means. Not great, very decent. Nothing special. Found my attention shifting elsewhere more often than I would have liked to. It's, a well-made horror movie. The acting is fine. The story is, whatever. You don't even really need one. Just nothing special about it. Glad I watched it. Don't regret it. But again, it just felt kind of stale and tired. Same old, same old. And finally, it'll scratch that itch if you really just want to watch something horror. If you're a big horror fan, you might as well.
Yeah.
Might as well, because anything Conjuring universe you got to see. Even though they've been lacking lately. Otherwise, I'd probably skip it. But then again, like, I don't know, maybe this is a pretty decent horror movie for those who, enjoy a horror movie every now and then, but aren't diving through the depths of Shudder to find like whatever they can that's new and original and scary. So I was very much on the fence with this one. It could go either way. So I am going to go unflickable, giving it a 6.2 out of 10.
All right. I won't be watching.
Yeah.
Oh, Storm Reed, by the way, was in that movie Missing, which I suggested to you guys during Daddy Radio Night, where it's like takes place all within her laptop.
Yes.
Very good. I enjoyed that movie a lot. All right. Well, thanks, Kalen. The Nun 2
On Max.
on Max. All right. Let's do one final segment. That's Matt's. Let's hear about some food. Another edition of Chez Fond du Lac.
Oh no!
What type of foods might we hear of today? What might be the price? What might be the venue? So let's find out. It's time for Gary to say, hey, Matt.
It's on the menu.
Well, as mentioned on some of our shows, I've added another part-time job to my career belt.
Oh,
So-
great. You get lunch again?
Yep. I'm working in a new place, so I got a whole new area to
Oh,
check
boy.
out for this very segment.
Now, are you like a big Yelp user like I am, or are you just like, fuck it, I just see a place, okay, that place I'm gonna go try, or do you do some,
I
or do
do
you do a
not
little
do that
Yelp
anymore.
research?
Definitely a Yelper
Okay, good.
for sure. Very useful. Not so useful in like less populated cities or like abroad. I tried using it when I was on my honeymoon. Not very useful in Europe, but pretty great in a city like Los Angeles or Austin. Anyway, there's a place not far from where I'm working that is a Mexican Greek fusion.
Interesting.
It's called Ziki, Ziki. And I
like
finally got to
this.
try for the very first time. Let me just start out with something that they call their Ziki bites, which are, you guys are aware of spanakopita? Spanakopita? It's like a layered pastry.
Kalen,
with
we talked about
spinach,
this last
little
time. I explained
triangles.
to you what it was.
I guess it didn't stick.
It's like a puff pastry filled with like spinach artichoke dip.
That sounds good.
Well, let
The
me tell you,
triangle.
when it's effing deep fried, like mushed into a ball and then deep fried, and it's also filled with like a ton of feta cheese and some of their like salsa special sauce to kind of give it the like Mexican Greek. Let me tell you guys, a fantastic starter to any meal where you're looking to fucking stuff yourself beyond capacity, because everything there was very large. I got a burrito there, and it was a like Chipotle size burrito, like just it felt like it was like over a foot long, it seemed like. And let me just pull up the Let me just pull up what was in this thing. Exactly. It was like a shawarma burrito. So it was, but it was with fajita chicken. What did you say? What did you call it?
Burrito.
A burrito.
Okay, well, they call it a Zurrito because they're called Ziki. So they just took the Z and the B.
All right. Yeah, I know.
This is one of those places that just puts Z in front of
A
everything.
lot of Z on this menu. Definitely a lot. The
Let's get us
quesadilla, the
Doritos,
quesadilla,
you want to
double Z's in that one for
tacos?
sure. But again, fajita chicken, your choice of rice with chipotle ziki sauce, but then also garlic sauce, crumbled feta, grilled corn, pico de gallo, cilantro, cabbage slaw. Again, just every single bite was a garden vegetable of flavors. Like there was just so many different combinations of flavors, which is one of my favorite things. And it was a gigantic burrito. There was absolutely no way I could finish it in one sitting. So I did enjoy a little bit of leftovers the next day. Not bad. And the final dish that my wife and I decided to order is the hold on. What's the dessert called? What do they call those layered desserts? Nope. I'm losing my mind.
Dulce, tres leches.
Oh, this
Baklava.
Thank you. For some reason, it's not popping up on the menu I have in front of me.
Baklaflan.
Do you know what baklava is, Kaylin?
What? I've seen it before.
Please tell me they call
I've
it
never had
baklava.
one.
I actually don't think they did. And you know what? We should write a letter to them.
That's too inconsistent.
Like an opportunity missed, dumbasses.
Yeah. Baklava often to me could be a little bit greasy. It's that same like that phyllo dough, that pastry dough, but because of the kind of sweet nutty filling that they put in it, it just can get a little bit heavy and a little bit
like
loaded.
Honey in it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it could be a little bit sticky, but this actually was, I would say, a drier version of it. So it actually traveled pretty well. All around great experience, a little bit overpriced, but I will definitely go there again. And that's what's on the menu.
All right, wonderful. That's what's on the menu. All right. I love.
By the way, for anyone who's on the fence about Patreon, there are outros to these seggies on Patreon.
And also, I should tease for the Patreon that last week I told you guys about a Shay situation that I was in, and I do have an update, and I will be sharing that with you guys.
I can't wait.
I cannot wait.
Yeah.
Definitely
on the edge of my seat.
I really am.
Edge of your seat.
We'll get
I'll
into
stop
that.
with the Z. Yeah, I'll stop.
Yeah. No, please keep going. We'll get more into that on the Patreon show we do this week. Well, anyway, that was a wonderful Shay. I love it. I think there needs to be more fusion, and most fusion places that I see are mixed with like Mexican food, just because just wrap it in a tortilla and fusion.
Yeah,
but
I went to a fusion. I went to one of our favorite fusion places for lunch today.
Kogi?
Yep.
Yeah. See, Korean food. Oh, just put it in a tortilla. Boom. Fusion.
I always get nervous about fusion places. I can never seem to pull the trigger just on my own to go one, but whenever I'm with a group or something, they're always good. But on my own, I'm like, those two things. I think I'm just gonna stick with one and then go find that.
I think Mexican food is safe. Like that's a safe thing to use. Like, and
Mexican's probably the most popular fused.
Yeah, I would eat anything fused with Mexican, like any other style of food fused with Mexican food. At least, yeah, I would. And just because you just put in a tortilla and boom, you're good.
And throw it at someone.
Yeah, and then throw it at someone. Yeah.
Wow, back. Going full circle.
Look at us, and see, Kaylin has just bookended this wonderful podcast. There you go. So there we go. So before we do get out of here, though, I want to go around and get our plugs in, and then we'll go. So I'll start off with Mr. Bookend himself, Kaylin Bean. What do you suggest we check out?
I suggest you go join our Facebook group. It is a whole lot of fun. Leave a comment. We may even read it on the show, as you've heard. And if you don't want to leave a comment, just enjoy, because it's the best place on the internet.
Thank you. Yeah, I totally agree. And yeah, enjoy some like-minded people. At least you all can agree on one thing. You listen to this show, and you're not a bot. All right, Matt. So about you.
You can follow me on Twitter at Matt Fondelier, and you can listen to the next half of the show. We're going to record it tomorrow, and we'll release it at patreon.com/watercooler.
Yep.
Please support us.
Get that extra content. And Gary, so about you.
Also, same as Matt, go subscribe to our Patreon. There's a whole variety of tiers there, as we've talked about, for movie club and Mall of Money meetups and all the kind of stuff that we have over there. But if you've gotten to this point of this episode, you are literally missing out on half the content that we create, and you will absolutely like it because it's the same thing, just another time each week.
With outros.
Yeah.
Go check that out. Patreon.com/watercooler.
I really think we did ourselves a disservice by bringing Kaylin back onto the free shows. It was nice when we were withholding out.
Oh, that's right. We were withholding Kaylin for a while. I forgot about that. That's
that was
good.
a long while.
And we're gonna have other new seggies on the Patreon shows as well. I told you guys I found my Universal Studios tour guide book. I've honestly been looking for it for a decade, and I finally found it last time I was at my folks' house. So I want to be diving into that on our Patreon as well. So
I can't wait to hear the jokes you had. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too, because I remember doing the tram ride all the time and being very impressed by those tour guides. All right, and as for me, check out the movie Arrival. It's very good. All right, that'll do it for Watercooler. Thank you so much again for. Oh, I should plug. I'm playing a show. I'll do it next week. All right. Thank you for hanging out with us. We'll see you later for Patreon. We love you. Goodbye.